Can I catch fish on 3 different crankbaits in an hour and a half? Welcome to another Diesel Does Fishing YouTube video. I'm out here at a pond that I fish all the time. Today, we're throwing on 3 different crankbaits, a Wee, a regular, and a lipless crankbait to see if we can catch a fish on each one of those in 90 minutes. So again, guys, I told you that this is a juicy pond. It's not big. It is a farm pond that has been here for a long time. I've never had problems catching fish out of this pond. First off, we were throwing this Wee Rebel Cricket crankbait. I've never actually caught anything on this one. I've caught on some other Rebel Wee crankbaits. Let's see if we can get that one for the first time today. We are also gonna throw on this Rappala crankbait. This is one that came out of that Facebook fishing challenge video. And last, an old faithful, the Rappala lipless crank. The timer starts now. Getting things rolling with the Cricket. You know, I'm not even sure why a fish would even want to eat this thing. Crickets don't swim underwater like fish. No, crickets bounce across the top. This thing has got a violent side-to-side action with the way it swims. I don't love it, but I've seen it catch fish before. I've noticed it particularly out of this Cricket crank that it wants to swim to one side and then get caught up on itself. Oh, he spit it out. Damn. I wasn't even ready. I had just closed the bail. Let's see if we can get right back out there and get him. He came up and like hit it top water. Man, I see multi-species staring at a bass, little bass right over here, and maybe like a crappie on this other side. Last time I fished this pond, I cleaned up 7, 8 crappie, 4 or 5 bass. And of course I wasn't filming. Every time I film videos, I catch 1 fish. Every time I don't have the camera on, ripping lips. But you know, it sort of makes sense that that fish came up and hit this thing top water, because crickets live on the top of the water. You know, hopefully we can even get any bites out here. Here in South Carolina, we got a lot of rain over the past week or so. Maybe that has something to do with it. Even this pond itself was up 8 inches, 12 inches, just the last time I was here over the weekend. Oh, got one. Yes, fish on, fish on. Good fish too. Good bass. Oh. Yeah, buddy. You wanted that cricket, buddy, and you got him. Nice. One of the bigger fish I've caught out of this pond in a while, actually. Well, go ahead and flop yourself back in. Solid 1 pounder, knocking out the first challenge on the Cricket in how long? How long did that take us? Less than 15 minutes. Nice. If you like this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you leave a comment below. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you want to see me do more of these kinds of videos. Guys, we are back in on the timer, moving over to this rappala square bill that was picked up on Facebook Marketplace. All I had to do was change the hooks because these things were rusty and they were bent. And let's see if we could do some work on this. Hour and 15 minutes left to finish this challenge. Guys, this pond is actually super grassy. A couple of years ago, they put chemicals in here to try to kill off some of this grass, and man, that just absolutely destroyed the ecosystem out here. They killed off all of the places where the brim were bedding, where the crappie were bedding, and the bass were pretty much just forced to eat their own young. I think they've come back through and restocked this pond now that it's had a couple of years to recover. But man, it was in rough shape there for a little while. If you see me cranking on this thing multiple times throughout, this thing feels like it weighs a ton once it gets caked up in this grass. So each time it's done that so far, it feels like there's a fish on. You know, you get that initial excitement, that initial rush when you know you've got a fish on. That's, oh, there's a big bass. Big bass sitting right out here, about 5 feet off the shore. See if we can just drag this square bill right out in front of him. Maybe he'll take it. This square bill definitely dives pretty deep. It doesn't stay shallow. This thing works. So I'm gonna have to work it pretty slow to keep it off the bottom of this pond. Just keep getting it caked up in this grass. And they want it too. I just saw another fish dart over to check it out, but it was so caked up in grass, he couldn't come and get it. Work it slow. Work it slow. Work it slow. So I'm gonna keep it rod tip up, maybe to keep it from diving too deep today. Because there's so much grass in this pond. Fish grass, catch bass. Trademarked. Guys, they're a huge bass. I can see them with my polarized glasses. I know you can't see them, but they are coming up out of the deep. Every time I bring this thing around, they must love the rattle in this thing. The problem is, again, it wants to dive too deep for this particular pond. Every time I reel this thing in, I see another bass, another crappie, something come up after it. With all this weeds out here, I know that this lipless that I've got tied on for my third setup is gonna crush. I wanna give myself as much time with that one as possible. So we're gonna make a switch. Throw them a little bit different presentation. I'm trying this sort of jerk and pause with it. Guys, I don't know if you can see this. This pond is up, way up, as a matter of fact. This right here used to be a path. That way over there used to be the shoreline, the water line. And this pond is up. It's been up to here recently. Lots of bait fish activity over here. That means the big bass should be pushing the smaller bait fish up onto these shallows. Guys, I am seeing all kinds of fish stacked up on these shallows over here. There's probably a half-pound dink sitting right out here about 10 feet past my shadow, sitting right over here, watching all these little schooling bait fish. Not much bigger than what he's trying to eat. But you know what? If you want to get big, you gotta eat. Oh, he came up and slammed. Did you see that? That bass came up and slammed like an ambush predator. Now, where are your big brothers? That's what Diesel wants to know. Guys, I can see 4 bass schooling up right here in front of me with this crank to come over and bite it. They just don't seem to be all that interested. I mean, I'm looking right now at 1, 2, 3, 4 fish, 5 fish. And there was a big sucker that came over and was checking things out. He swam off. But I really wish I had like a Texas rig or a weightless wacky on. But these challenge videos, we're just out here grinding them out, bro. You don't know how much it sucks to see big fish swimming out here and know you have the wrong bait tied on. Mr. Turtle seems to be interested in what I'm doing. Sorry, guy. Can't have this. Guys, it's been over 45 minutes without any action whatsoever on either one of these crankbaits. I think it's safe to say that the moving bite has just turned off. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so that you see every time I post a new video. I'm Diesel of Diesel Does Fishing, and I'm out.